I feel like a proper pregnant person today because I'm wearing my stretchy jersey dungarees, which when I first tried them on, I wasn't sure about at all because I thought they made me look a bit too much like a weeble. But having worn them once or twice, I'm in love with them. They feel like pajamas, which is a bit of a theme for me at the moment with maternity wear. Anything that feels like pajamas is good for me. And actually, I quite like them. They're black. Sorry, this is nothing to do with my 30-week update at all, but just in case you're interested, they're black and they're made from a jersey material, and I find that if I wear them with something over the top, then they don't look quite so much like weebly. They look better, so that's what I've done and I love them. So my 30-week update, I'm actually 31 weeks tomorrow, so I'm a little bit late filming this. Stretchy dungarees aside, I feel like all of a sudden in the last week or so I've really started to feel a lot different and a lot more pregnant, which I guess is pretty standard for this stage in your pregnancy. So I recently had another midwife appointment where they do all the standard stuff like testing your urine and measuring your bump, and they listen to the baby's heartbeat, which I just love. I find that really reassuring. If you've watched my last pregnancy update, I'll link it up here if you haven't managed to watch it, but I talked about how they were thinking of sending me for a growth scan because my bump was measuring small compared to my weeks. So they decided not to at the time because I was borderline. It was literally just sort of on the line that they measure it against. So they decided that they weren't going to send me this time and that they would check when they do the measurements next time and see what they thought then. So I've since been back, I've been measured again, and she wasn't happy with the measurements this time because she thought I was measuring much bigger than I should be for my weeks. So it literally jumped from, the measurement they took jumped from below all the lines that it could be on, so below the 0 line, to way up above the top line. So it was, and this is all within the space of 2 weeks. So she said, I'm not happy with this. She said, I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, but because of they've got this new protocol that they have to follow, they're going to send me for a growth scan. I tried not to worry too much about it because I've had friends who have had similar experiences and had to be sent for a scan and everything turned out to be fine. And I tried to look at it just as, well, it's a nice opportunity to see the baby again and have everything checked over again, and just tried to find it more reassuring than anything else. So we had that scan last week and I was quite nervous on the day. Actually, I think I'd managed to kind of put it to the back of my mind, which I'm quite good at anyway. If I'm worried about something, I'll kind of park it. But on the morning, I did start to feel a little bit anxious about it, just in case things weren't as they should be. So I went in to see the sonographer. She asked me why I was there, and I explained to her what the midwife had said to me on the 2 separate appointments. And she was quite sort of surprised. She said, oh, that's very bizarre that you would change your measurements so much. It's not like a baby would grow that much in the space of 2 weeks. So there's obviously something not right with the way they've measured you. And actually that did make me think that at the time when she put the tape measure on, they measure you from the very, very top of your bump right down to your pubic bone or pelvic bone. But it felt like she put the tape lower the second time when I was measuring bigger than they would normally stop it, if that makes sense. But anyway, the sonographer did the scan and she was completely happy with the measurements that she saw. She measured everything actually again, which was nice. She measured all the bits that they measure at your 20-week scan. But she said in terms of the baby's growth and size, it was literally right in the middle of where it should be. It was very sort of average sized. So she was perfectly happy with that, no concerns at all. And it was just really nice to see the baby again. It was quite active and wriggling around. We did tell her that we didn't know the gender, so to kind of steer clear of that area, but I did try and have a sneaky peek. I couldn't see anything. She also said that the baby is currently head down. Obviously it can still move about a bit at this stage. It's not too big, but it's good to know that it is in that position, and hopefully it'll stay in that position and not flip upside down in the next couple of weeks. But everything looked great, and actually it was really nice to be able to go and see him or her again. In the last week or so, I've definitely started getting BRAXTON HICKS I can't ever remember getting it this early on before. In fact, with my first baby, I don't think I had them at all. I kept expecting it to happen and it never really did. With my second, I think I had them once or twice towards the very end. Last time around with my third baby, I feel like I had them more frequently, but not this early. Although, you know, your memory of things does get kind of muddled up a little bit, so perhaps I did, but I feel like this is quite early on. They're not painful, it's just literally that tightening sensation at the bottom of my bump, but I have definitely been getting it quite frequently and more so than I have in previous pregnancies. I've also been feeling really big and heavy and just uncomfortable in the last couple of weeks. It's quite funny, the noise that I make when I have to bend over and get something. And it's even got to the point where I kind of plan what I might need to pick up when I'm down there. So if I bend over to, we've got a pull-out drawer underneath our bed where I keep sort of some of my hair products and things like that, my straighteners and things. It's actually got so bad that I will plan, if I need to bend over to get my straighteners, what else I might need while I'm down there, so that I don't have to keep getting up and down all the time. That's really embarrassing, but it's true. It's not that it's painful to bend over, it's just not, it's just uncomfortable. And I definitely do that sort of granddad noise that you make, the sort of groan when I bend over and when I have to stand up again. I'm sorry, by the way, if the light keeps changing. I'm sat in front of a window and it's one of those days where it's really bright sunshine 1 minute and then the sun goes behind a cloud. So if I keep getting brighter and darker, I'm sorry, I can't do a lot about it. So yes, I'm feeling very heavy and it's harder to move around now, and turning over in bed actually isn't so bad because I sleep in my pregnancy pillow. I kind of sleep on my front but slightly on the side with one leg up on the pillow. So I just kind of roll myself over a little bit if I need to change position in the night. That's not too bad, but getting in and out of bed is quite funny. My husband is quite amused by the noises that I make. So hypnobirthing, I did a bit of research, and if you've been watching my pregnancy updates, you'll know that it was something I really wanted to do this time around. I've never done it before. I did a bit of reading and read some reviews and looked on some forums and things like that for people's experiences. I know you can go to hypnobirthing classes where it's more sort of tailored to you individually, and I really would love to have done that. But when you've got 3 kids already and all the kind of commitments that they have after school and things like that in the evenings, I just want to sit and chill and chat to my husband. So I did some research, and there was a lady whose name kept coming up over and over again. Her name was Paula Bagnall, and she has written numerous books and things like that, but she's also created a hypnobirthing app, which the app itself is free, but then there's add-ons for different requirements and different sort of things that you might want hypnobirthing to specifically focus on. I've only been listening to it for a couple of days now, but I'm enjoying it, and I listen to it last thing in the evening with my headphones because that's what they recommend that you do, so you kind of block out all other distractions and noise. And the one thing I've noticed is that I relax so quickly, and it is a very different feeling to just relaxing and being quiet. You do kind of feel yourself removed from the situation. It's weird, but it seems to be working for me so far. Who can say? But I am going to persevere with it. The one thing I would say about this particular program is that the session that I downloaded, which is all to do with it's called Beautiful Birth, I think, and it's long. It's about 40 minutes long, which I'm not entirely convinced I'm going to stick to listening to 40 minutes every single night. So I might sort of try and do that once or twice a week and then find a shorter one for all the other days. I'm not sure, but I can see the benefits of it already. I can see why it really works for people, and I'm enjoying it so far. If anyone else has got any recommendations for some shorter hypnobirthing programs or apps or websites that I should check out, please do let me know, because there's so many to look at and so many to choose from. It's hard to know where to start. I picked this one purely because so many people had mentioned her name on things that I'd read, so I'd love to hear your recommendations if you have any. One last thing that I've really noticed in the last week or so is that my skin feels really dry and irritated and almost itchy. I'm not sure if this is to do with pregnancy or it's because I've switched my moisturiser. It's probably the latter, but when I lie down in bed at night, I just feel just itchy, and it's not unbearable, but it's just really annoying, and it's been going on for a couple of weeks. And when you're feeling really heavy and lethargic and sort of uncomfortable in general, the last thing you want is for your skin to start feeling itchy and irritated. The movements I'm feeling from the baby now are just amazing. They're not just like kicks, although I still get those, but I'm feeling, if I put my hand on my belly, I can feel like a pointy, what feels like an elbow. I can feel if it's pointy, or I can feel if it's sort of bigger and more rounded, like the baby's head or bottom or whatever that might be. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it. I can feel more specific kind of parts of the baby, at least I think I can. Last night actually, when I was struggling to sleep because my skin was annoying me, I was having both hands on my bump, and I could feel the baby pressing out sort of right up here by my right rib. I could feel what felt like an elbow. Instead of just keeping my hand there, I kind of rubbed my hand back and forth over whatever it was, and it went away. And then like a second later it came back, and I did the same thing again, and then it went away, and then it came back, and we just kind of repeated it. It's almost like it was kind of responding to what I was doing. It was amazing, and I don't know if it's just coincidence that it kept going away and coming back at the same time, but I like to think that it kind of could feel what I was doing. So that's everything for my 30-week update. I really hope you've enjoyed watching. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love to have you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.